protect and defend you. May the Lord protect you. May through thee His light shining. May the Lord protect and defend. May the Lord protect and defend you. May the Lord preserve you from pain. Favor Him, O Lord, with happiness, O hear our Sabbath prayer. O sunrise, sunset, swiftly go the days, unseason following another, laden with happiness.
Hoover Dam Lodge was a roller champion. At Hoover Dam Lodge, you get a spectacular lake and mountain view, and it has been totally revitalized. So thanks to Hoover Dam Lodge for their contribution.
B-C-H-S-B, C-H-S, B-C-H-S-B, C-H-S. Ready? Let's go, L-E-T-S-G-O, let's go. Let's go, L-E-T-S-G-O, let's go. Let's go, L-E-T-S-G-O, let's go. She's doing pretty good. Go, Blunder! Be a fan! She's breaking out. Yeah, but... Ready! G-G-O-O, go! Go! G-G-O-O, go! Go! G-G-O-O, go! Go! Thanks, everybody!
For the Treg Husett Group, a roller champion, a big thank you to Beth Walker for the Treg Husett Group for their donation and continued support of the Senior Center. Thank you, Beth. The Nathan Adelson Hospice Stroller Champion. It is a vision of Nathan Adelson Hospice that no one ends the journey of life alone, afraid, or in pain. Thank you for your donation to the Senior Center. Serenity Salon was a roller champion. They bring together incredibly talented stylists to create your perfect look. Flightline's Bootleg Canyon Roller Champion. If you're looking for something different and fun to do off the Las Vegas Strip, experience the rush of flying through Bootleg Canyon.
4 o'clock rock, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock rock, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock rock, we're gonna rock.
Copper Mountain Solar, one of our great Meals on Wheels champions. Copper Mountain Solar believes fostering strong relationships is fundamental to running a business. You know, even though it's raining, this has been a great event, don't you think? And you are awesome to stick around with us.
I should have.
I would really appreciate it if you would get a shout out to our staff from our Boulder City Senior Center. They are amazing and they have put together this event for us, and I think we need to give them a little bit of an applause. Would you do that? Yay to our staff. CrossFit, a rocker champion. Boulder City's first CrossFit gym, teaching the community functional fitness to any level and ability. Waste to Logistics, a Meals on Wheels champion. Boulder City Disposal, doing their part to keep our community clean and beautiful. Railroad Pass Hotel and Casino, Meals on Wheels champion, serving travelers and Boulder City residents for 87 years. J&A Consulting, a senior champion, an independent financial advisory firm to municipal governments for over 40 years. Marcella, Fine Arts for Meds, senior champion. The proceeds are donated to help pay for medications that seniors can't afford and don't qualify for on an income-restricted assistance. Albertsons was our senior champion. We want to thank Boulder City Albertsons for their continued support throughout the year. They give generously to all the events, and we really appreciate their help. The Boulder City Chamber of Commerce is a Meals on Wheels champion, and a huge thank you to them. BC Real Estate, a rocker champion. BC Real Estate is experienced in both real estate and property management. You can contact them for all of your real estate needs.
Humbly we walk here, humbly we sing here, humbly we bless this ground. Humbly we walk here, humbly we sing here, humbly we bless this ground. Humbly we walk here, humbly we sing here, humbly we bless this ground. Oh,
This next song is called All of Us Belong. And it's all about all of us belonging, including those of us who have, let's see, wings and paws and tails and toes and instincts and souls. All of us belong, each and every one. All of us belong in this sacred circle. So sing along with us if you like.
All of us belong in the sacred circle.
words of their songs. They were really, really moving. Thank you again. Visiting Angels was a rocker champion, a nationally respected non-medical senior home care provider with the goal to keep seniors living in their own homes longer. Rotary Club of Boulder City, another senior champion. They pride themselves in the amount of assistance that they give to our wonderful community, for there's not a month that goes by that they are not serving in some capacity here in Boulder City. The Homestead of Boulder City is a community designed to anticipate and accommodate everything you might need with personalized levels of assisted living and memory support.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, Manny.
Check, check. How are you guys? Can you hear my guitar out there? There it is. I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions had an echo so much space. And when you're out there without a care, when I was out of touch, it wasn't because I didn't know enough. Well, I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly, yeah. And I hope that you're having the time of your life. Overthink twice. Well, it's my only advice. Yeah. Come on now, who do you think you are? Whoa, 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 now bless your soul. Do you think you're in control? No. Maybe you're crazy. And maybe you're crazy. Maybe you're crazy. Just like me. Yeah. My heroes had the heart to live their lives out on a limb, and all I can remember is I wanna be like them. And ever since I was little, like so much fun. It's no coincidence that I've become. I can die when I'm done. Maybe I'm crazy, and maybe you're crazy. Maybe we're crazy, possibly. Here come on flat top, here come grooving up slowly. He got juju eyeball, he want holy roller. He got head down to his knees. Got to be a joker cause he do what he please. He wear a shoe shine, he got toe jam football, he got monkey finger, he shoot Coca-Cola. He said, I know you, you know me. One thing I can tell you is you've got to be free. Come together right now over me. He bad production, he got walrus gumbo, he got on no sideboard, he want spinal cracker, he got feet down below his knees. Hold you in his arms so you can feel his disease. Come together right now over me. He roller coaster, he got early warning, he got muddy water, he want mojo filter. He said 1 and 1, 1 is 3. Got to be good looking cause he's so hard to see. Come together right now over me. Thank you. Some people call me the space cowboy, some call me the gangster love, and some people call me man on me. That's me to speak of the competence of love. People talk about me, baby, say I'm doing you wrong, doing you wrong. Don't you worry, don't worry, worry, mama, cause I'm right here, right here, right here all alone. Cause I'm a picker, I'm a grinner, and I'm a lover, and I'm a sinner, yeah. I'm playing my music in the sun. Well, I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, and I'm a midnight joker, yeah. I sure don't wanna hurt no one. A little switch up. All Love is one big party when you're still young. My host gonna have your bag when it's all done. It's all good when you're little, you have your fun. I can't be a fool, son. What about the long run? Looking back, so it's always a mention. Send me not giving her much attention. She was there through my incarceration. I wanna show the nation of my appreciation. Shorty, you're my angel. You're my darling angel. Closer than my peeps, you are to me. Shorty, you're my angel. You're my darling angel. Girl, you're my friend when I'm in need. Are you a queen and I saw you so be treated? Are you never get the loving that you needed? Good I left but I call and you hated. I taking a beat and I mission completed. Mama said I and I, this the program. Not the type of mess I don't want your emotions. I'm not feeling that it happened, you were so strong. I've been together so long and this could never be wrong. Shorty, you're my angel. You're my darling angel. Closer than my peeps, you are to me. Shorty, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Girl, you're my friend when I'm in need. Girl, it's fine on my behavior, you are my savior. You're giving me your love, and you will pay to me so tender. No, a girl, I surrender. You're giving me your love. Girl, it's fine on my behavior, you are my savior. You're giving me your love, and you will feed me to milk and no, a girl, I surrender. You're giving me your love. Love is one big party when you're still young. Always a mention. Said me not giving her much attention. She was there through my incarceration. I wanna show the nation of my appreciation. You're the cutest thing that I ever did see, and I really love your pictures. Won't you shake that tree? Yeah. So love me, baby, love me, just love me one more time. So come on, baby, let me show you a good time. 'Cause I'm a picker, I'm a grinner, and I'm a lover, and I'm a sinner, yeah. I'm playing my music in the sun. Well, I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, and I'm a midnight joker, yeah. Sure don't wanna hurt no one. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to pull up for one more song. I'm going to do a little sing-along that everybody knows, end on a good note. Where it began, I can't begin to know it. Then I know it's going strong. Was it the spring? Oh, spring became the summer. Who believed you'd come along? Hands, let me see those hands. Touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. Good times never seem so good, and I'm inclined, ba ba ba, to believe that never would, but now I look at the night. Well, it don't seem so lonely. We'll pick it up with only two. And when I heard, oh, the hurting runs off my shoulders. How can I hurt while I'm loving you? Warm, touching warm, reaching out, touching me, touching you, sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba. The times never seem so good, and I'm inclined to believe that never would, but now I'm sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba. The times never seem so good, so good, so good. And I'm inclined to believe that never would, but now thank you guys very much. That has been my time.
One more round of applause, Manny the musician. You guys have all been wonderful. We want to thank you so much for coming out. We want to thank all of our workers we had here. The oh my goodness, my brain is just going array here. But we had the 4 H Club here that they were working on the children's little play area, the kids zone. We want to thank Kristen and her daughter that did all the face painting. Emma, you guys are awesome. We want to thank you over there. We didn't forget you, even though you guys are all the way up there on the side. We still have a few more burgers left, so we want you guys to go ahead and eat us out of house and home here.
No more.
Oh, they're gone. They're already gone. Okay, never mind. There are no more burgers. You guys are great. Thank you guys again for coming.
A set of islands, hundreds of miles from the closest land, isolated, remote, and wild. Islands like these support unique ecosystems cut off from continents and intrigue naturalists as they unravel the mysteries of evolution. These islands, the Pribilof Islands of the Bering Sea, harbor an unusual tale. In the late 1800s, the Pribilofs attracted an artist and budding naturalist, but led him down a turbulent path where he was forced to confront the demands of industry. As a naturalist, he documented life on the Pribilofs, but the experience turned his attention to conservation, racing to protect an animal in danger of extinction. Formed by volcanic eruptions over the last 2 million years, the Pribilof Islands were once hills lying near the edge of the Bering Land Bridge. As sea levels rose, the Bering Sea isolated the Pribilofs, leaving the largest islands of St. Paul and St. George, now over 300 miles from mainland Alaska. The Pribilofs are a naturalist's paradise. Millions of migrating seabirds flock to the storm-battered cliffs, while Arctic fox, songbirds, and a host of wildflowers inhabit this treeless and windswept landscape. But the Pribilof Islands are most noteworthy as home to one of the greatest gatherings of marine mammals, the northern fur seal. For millennia, the fur seals have migrated here each summer to breed on the low-angled, rocky beaches shrouded by fog. These animals were, in fact, the reason Russian explorers came here in the first place. With 300,000 hairs per square inch, the fur seal's pelt has been sought after for centuries. In the 1700s, Pramishleniki, or Russian fur traders, swept across the Aleutian Islands, hunting the sea otter to near extinction. With the sea otters diminishing, they chased the fur seal north. Fog and unpredictable seas hid their secret destination for years. But in 1786, Gerasim Pribilov found the bounty in the Bering, the Pribilov Islands. Pribilov's discovery brought settlement to these islands, but with it came greed, deceit, and decimation. In the years that followed, the fur seal persevered through 2 centuries of commercial use. From 1868 to 1911, it was the naturalist Henry Wood Elliott who witnessed the most extreme harvesting of the Pribilov fur seal. In the late 1800s, sealing in the North Pacific grew into an international affair, and during its heyday, tens of thousands of seals were slaughtered annually. Fur seal pelts became the luxurious fur coats demanded by wealthy men and women during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. In 1867, 8 decades after the discovery of the Pribilov Islands, the United States bought the Alaskan territory from Russia. It has been speculated that this gigantic land purchase was primarily to gain access rights to harvest the fur seals, what was then Alaska's most valuable resource, and would prove to be an extremely profitable industry. In 1872, Henry Elliott, artist and naturalist from the Smithsonian Institution, arrived on the Pribilov Islands as an assistant treasury agent to the United States government. To harvest the seals, the government granted an exclusive lease to the ACC, or the Alaska Commercial Company. Charged with overseeing the seal harvest, Elliott worked to ensure that the ACC adhered to its quota. The company was allowed to take 100,000 3- and 4-year-old bachelor seals each year. As an adept watercolorist, Elliott documented the experience, providing some of the earliest known images of the Pribilov seal harvest and illustrating the fur seal's spectacular abundance. From his report,
multitudes of BoulderCityNevada are filing in long strings or deploying in vast platoons. The breath which rises into the cool air from 100,000 hot throats hangs like clouds of white steam in the gray fog itself.
During his work for the U.S. Treasury, Elliott was astonished to find that no one had intensely studied the northern fur seal, and as a result, there was little understanding of how to best manage the industry. So he set out to document the fur seal's life history and map its distribution. Elliott was an accomplished field artist, but this would be his first biological endeavor. He remarked,
"At the time of the acquisition of Alaska, even the Smithsonian Institution did not possess a perfect skin and skeleton of the northern fur seal. Strange to say, this animal is so vaguely known, even to scientific men, that it was without representation in any of the best zoological collections of the world."
The limited work for him to build on came from only a handful of scientists, one of whom was Georg Steller, who named the fur seal Ursus marinus, the sea bear. When Elliott first arrived in April of 1872, the beaches were empty. He learned that the northern fur seal winters at sea, as far away as Southern California, Japan, and the open Pacific Ocean. In May, he watched the 400 to 500 pound males arrive through the fog, and he agreed with Stellar. The fur seal was no ordinary seal. Unlike other seals, and like bears, Elliott recorded that the fur seal has a visible ear, which places fur seals with sea lions in the family of eared seals, Otaridae. Though it spends the majority of its life at sea, the strong upper body also allows the fur seal to be at home on land. The limbs walk forward together. The pelvis moves in the same manner, but is smaller, adapted for marine life. Elliott described the foreflippers as dark, bluish-black hands, stretched out with the same bones as a human, fingernails embedded in the middle. Witnessing this species' extraordinary agility on land, Elliott recorded the northern fur seal to have the most remarkable and highly organized social structure of all seals. Male fur seals grow massive canines and are extremely aggressive and territorial. Elliott found this behavior absolutely fascinating.
I saw him there, covered with scars and frightfully gashed. Raw, festering and bloody, one eye gouged out, but lording it bravely over his harem. When land and water are weighted and account together, there is no other animal known to man classed superior from a purely physical point of view. There are few creatures that can be said to exhibit a higher order of instinct, approaching even our intelligence.
Subjective comments such as these brought this new scientist much criticism. While truth poured straight from his paintbrush, it often strayed from his pen, diverted by his strong convictions. Because of this and his lack of formal training, Elliott's methods and conclusions were often questioned by the scientific community. During Elliott's first tenure on the Pribilof Islands, he created detailed distribution maps and completed the first official population estimate for the total number of fur seals. Walking all 42 miles of coast on St. Paul, he discovered more than 16 miles were fur seal rookeries or hauling grounds. The rookeries, he found, were strategically located on well-drained, gently sloped beaches. From his observations, he calculated that each individual fur seal, on average, required only a 2 feet by 1 foot area, and used the law of uniform distribution to determine his estimates. Having mapped all suitable coastline habitat, Elliott concluded there were more than 4.5 million fur seals on the Pribilof Islands. In October of 1873, after a year and a half on the Pribilofs, Elliott returned home to Cleveland with his Russian Aleut wife, Alexandra Melovidov, and their infant daughter, Grace. At the time, Elliott was content with the sealing operation of the Alaska Commercial Company and saw no possible threat to the parades of seals. Over the next several years, Elliott would make subsequent trips to the Pribilofs, continuing to study the fur seal's natural history. In 1881, he published The Seal Islands of Alaska, which described the habits, environments, and harvesting of the northern fur seal. Most importantly, he presented the first detailed account of the fur seal's reproductive strategy, the key to their survival. Early in the summer, pregnant females arrive at the Pribilof Islands, coming on land for the first time in 8 months. This female bulges with the pup that will be born within a day or 2, or even hours. Elliott learned that females usually return to their birthplace. However, getting there may not be so easy. Males have sought out territorial rights on the water's edge, jockeying for position to be the first to intercept the arriving female. They herd her aggressively as she heads for the female group. Fighting males are often distracted, giving others an opportunity to steal her. The biggest and strongest males defend the best territories, and females usually settle in large groups. Many females suffer serious wounds, but rest in the relative calm of each other. There they await the coming of their young. Within hours of her arrival, the pup is born. Elliot watched immediate bonds form between mother and pup. She quickly learns the pup's distinctive call and scent. This proves crucial when later the mother must find her pup amidst a shoreline of thousands. Shortly after the pups are born, the males mate with the females and sire the next generation. The females, therefore, only spend 3 to 7 days of every year not pregnant. For the rest of the summer, the female will support 3 lives: herself, her pup, and her newly fertilized egg. This would prove to be Elliot's most crucial discovery concerning the fur seal's life history. During the Alaska Commercial Company's 20-year lease, the land harvest was very successful, and revenues earned by the U.S. government more than paid off the purchase price of the Alaskan Territory, a cost of $7.2 million. These massive profits and increased sale prices for fur seal skins attracted international attention. Soon Canadian, American, and later Japanese sealing vessels flocked to these islands every summer. Thus began an onslaught of pelagic sealing, or the killing of fur seals at sea. This practice was horribly wasteful. Reports stated that sealers retrieved fewer than 1 out of every 5 seals shot. With harvesting coming from both land and sea, the fur seal population faltered from the increased pressure. In 1890, Elliot returned to the Pribilof Islands following a 14-year absence, but his romantic memories had been shattered.
I may as well frankly confess that I was wholly unaware of the extraordinary state of affairs which stared me in the face. Not even a faint suggestion of 1872 appeared.
Elliot reacted to the land harvest, stating that the excessive driving exhausted and overheated the bachelor seals to the point they became sterile. However, he had no scientific proof. Elliot heard other reasons, learning from incumbent treasury agents that the fur seal population had been declining for some years. The ACC had struggled to reach its annual quota and tapped into previously untouched rookeries. Reports surfaced of smaller skins leaving the islands, potentially indicating that younger fur seals were harvested. During his visits to the rookeries, Elliot also saw the shores littered with corpses and fully realized the impact of pelagic sealing. Even after an international tribunal established a 60-mile safe zone around the Pribilofs in 1894, pelagic sealing continued to increase, doubling that summer. The pelagic hunters knew the seals would come to them. Female fur seals must eat to support themselves, their fertilized egg, and to produce milk for their growing pups. To fulfill these demands, venture out on foraging trips for hundreds of kilometers, typically lasting more than a week. It's in these same waters that the hunters waited, slaughtering the pregnant females and any chance of survival for their waiting pups. As pelagic sealers raced to capture as many seals as they could, females were the majority of victims. Their relentless greed killed at least 3 seals in one. The population crashed in 15 years. Due to the carelessness of both the land and sea harvesting, Elliot lost his trust in the industry he once supported. Over the next 20 years, he spearheaded a passionate and controversial campaign, fighting for the fur seal against governments, businessmen, and scientists. In 1911, his persistence culminated in the first International Wildlife Conservation Treaty, which ended pelagic sealing and limited the U.S. land harvest. Elliot continued to fight for the fur seals until he died, and today is credited as the man who saved the northern fur seal from extinction. The fur seals were given the opportunity to bounce back, and by the 1940s, they recovered to their former abundance. Scientists say that abundance is closer to 2 million seals, or about half of Elliot's estimate, which has led to continued criticism of Elliot as a scientist. However, Elliot's maps did clearly depict the fur seal's distribution and helped him prove their rapid decline. Henry Elliot was one man who made a difference by saving a species. His scientific pursuit promoted a history of Pribilof fur seal research, and today, the northern fur seal is one of the most studied animals on the planet. But Elliot's legacy is in jeopardy. Although more than 2 million fur seals again covered the Pribilof shores, by 1988, a fraction remained. The population continues to drop, declining by 6% per year since 1998. Since Elliot's day, some rookeries have disappeared altogether. Unlike the other historical declines, this one cannot be blamed directly on commercial sealing. These seals have not been harvested for fur since 1984. The problem appears to be that fewer and fewer young animals return to the Pribilofs each year. They are not surviving the winter migrations to and from the North Pacific.
Well, as early as the 1960s, maybe a few years earlier than that, seals were returning to the Pribilof Islands to their breeding colonies with stuff they found in the ocean, entangled around their necks, around their bodies.
Young and old seals confused garbage and fishing nets with kelp, and their curiosity was their undoing. During the 1970s and 1980s, the entanglement rate was high, which increased mortality. Today, entanglement is still a problem, but fishermen have worked to minimize waste, and local programs are in place to help injured seals.
And with anything like this dynamic that we're seeing in the population, there are a variety of explanations. I would be convinced that entanglement is a piece of it. It may be a relatively small piece now. I certainly would not go so far as to say that entanglement is the only thing causing this decline.
As Elliot discovered during the great decline of the pelagic sealing era, fur seal pups starved on the Pribilof shores as hunters killed their mothers during their foraging trips. Today, there is pressure on fur seals in these very same locations. commercial fishing has increased in the Bering Sea, including the waters surrounding the Pribilof Islands. Some scientists suspect that the increased competition for their food source may be adversely affecting the fur seals. This fishing pressure may not be confined to the Bering Sea, but throughout the fur seal's migration route, making foraging tougher for young and inexperienced animals. Another problem facing the Pribilof fur seals could be pollution of the world's oceans. No measurable effects have been found from oil spills, but industrial waste compounds are increasing in both seal blubber and mother's milk. Weaned pups may be more vulnerable at sea as elevated contaminants weaken their immune systems. Causes for the decline may also be natural. Disease has been ruled out, but it could be a cycle of predator-prey dynamics. Orcas are abundant in the North Pacific, and fur seals make a good meal, rich in energy. An additional leading theory is that this decline is a cyclical pattern of nature. Scientists have documented a warming trend across the North Pacific Ocean that has altered the distribution of fish and squid, which the fur seals depend on. Current conditions are undoubtedly different from Elliott's time. The Pribilof Islands and the North Pacific may no longer be able to support the millions that once lived here. However, the inability to pinpoint a cause does not nullify the fact that the Pribilof fur startling rate. During Elliott's campaign for the fur seal, he once wrote,
"There is a universal, a hearty wish, not only at home but abroad, that these Alaskan fur seal rookeries be preserved. The great equilibrium which nature holds in life upon Earth must be sustained at St. Paul as well as elsewhere."
Somehow, Henry Wood Elliott's legacy of saving the northern fur seal needs to be maintained. For if he were to return today, he would look for the great herds that once covered the Seal Islands, but now see only grass and rock.